A man or woman without a clear vision for their lives lives a very loose life. But a man with a vision, they live a very narrow life. Very important. The disciplined people live very narrowly. When a man or woman has a vision, their life becomes very, very tight. Why? Because vision simplifies life. What do I mean by this? Again, it'll take a couple of days to teach this, but it's very important. When you capture a vision, it simplifies everything. Everything. Because vision controls all of your choices after that. Once you know where you're going, you also automatically know what roads won't take you there. You understand that statement? So if you know what to do, you automatically know what you shouldn't do. Vision defines your what to do in life. Because vision gives you your address, your permanent address. It shows you your destination, where we get our word destiny from. Your destiny dictates your decisions. Write it down. Your destiny dictates your decisions. So life becomes simple. If someone offers you something and it doesn't collaborate in its unity with your vision, it's easy to say no. See, without a vision, it's tough for you to refuse things. Life becomes complicated. Let's take another thought here and see if we can push this a little further. You were not born to do everything. Say amen. Boy, I'm so glad when the Lord told me that. I said, oh, thank you. The pressure is off. We somehow have this attitude that we have a lot of things to do in life. I disagree. I used to think so myself. You don't have a lot to do in life. Isn't that wonderful? When you study people who have been successful in their lives and eventually became influential, like Moses, Joseph, Joshua, David, Paul, Jesus, Abraham Lincoln, Abraham himself. I mean, all these people, you think their lives, they're very simple people. Very simple people. There's a term that is normally associated with them. Here's a term. This one thing I do. See, you got to get to the point where you're only living for one thing, and life becomes simple. People who discovered vision, they live longer. They live healthier. There's no stress. Stress comes from not knowing what to do. You remember the story of Martha and Mary. Jesus said something to Martha that changed my life. Let me talk about Martha for a couple of minutes. Martha's an interesting woman. Martha is like most of us. We live on assumptions, even of God. Martha had a visitation from God. He came to visit her house. Guess what she did? She assumed he was hungry. See, that's the problem. We think we know what God wants us to do. One thing you learn from this summit so far is that vision is from God. You don't tell him what you are going to do. You got to report to him, submit to him, and stay still until you are clear of the revelation. Because without that revelation, there is no self-discipline. Martha ended up cooking for God and he wasn't hungry. And then she became angry because other people were not joining her in her busyness, which was not appropriate. In other words, she tried to get other people involved in things that was not God's will at the time. I wonder if you're doing that. Martha proceeded to cook for God. And then she came to God and says, look, why don't other people come and help me? Send my sister to help me. Now the answer Jesus gave, you must study. It was a leadership answer. He said, Martha, you are so busy about many things. Tell your neighbor, I think that's me. That's what your life is like. All of you who have known me for the past 20 years, you know that I haven't changed. I've grown, but I haven't changed. There's a difference between growing and changing. I grow in my knowledge and my experience and my experience, but I haven't changed. I am still the same guy with the same message, same intent. It makes my life simple. He says, you're busy about so many things. You're trying to do everything. You're trying to be everybody and trying to be everything to everybody. Then he said to her, Martha, big words, only few things are necessary. Well, that's a beauty, eh? He said, look, life is filled with a million questions every day and a million things to do. He said, but only few things really necessary to do in life. Let me ask you a question. Are the things you've done for the past 11 months in this year, were they necessary? Don't answer it, just think about it. You might be shocked at your answer. The question then is, what is necessary? How do you define necessary? It's answered in the Bible very clearly. It's easy to find what's necessary. Necessary, according to Paul, the apostle, is defined like this. Paul says in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, he said, all things are permitted for me to do. I can do anything I want. He says, but not all things benefit me. Interesting. I don't care how old you are now, you're going to soon be dead. 70 years is so short, you ain't got time to make a mistake anymore. And if you're 40 years old, you are already over the 50% mark. So you better make sure you clear this thing quickly about what your vision is and define it, so you waste no more days. You're going to be dead soon. This is no time for experimentation. This is a time for intentional living. You got to know where you're going now. This is too late to take detours and go through corners you ain't supposed to go through and wondering how to get there. You better know your destination from this mountain. When you leave here with your certificate tomorrow, you better have a clear idea. And that's why this session is important for you. Because you ain't getting no younger. See? He said, Martha, only few things are necessary in life. There's some people in your life who are not necessary. Some of you got the wrong company. And they eating up your time, wasting your time, eating with them and playing with them and watching TV with them and going to clubs with them and going out to conferences with them, all this stuff. And God is saying, look, you're still not getting where you're supposed to get to. These people are distractions. Some of the books you have been buying are not necessary. Romance novels, magazines, fashion. I mean, they don't get you to your dream. You see, when you have a vision, it simplifies life. You can walk up to a bookstore shelf and know exactly what books not to buy. See, vision dictates everything. Matter of fact, let me just give you some indications of how it controls your power of choice. The statement here, I'm sure you know it well, right? Jack of all trades, master of none. You become a leader when you find the thing you're supposed to master. Everything that you do is supposed to be motivated by your vision. Everything. Vision is supposed to be the source of your human motivation. It simplifies your life. Do you know why most people are actually poor? I know why they're poor. Poverty, like we learned last night, it's not a problem. It's a result. Most people are poor because no one knows who they are. What do we mean by that? Vision helps you identify yourself before the people in the world. And because they know who you are, they know what to come to you for. Let me give you another statement. Very important. This is so important. If you want to be successful, write this down. Do not seek success. Seek to become a person of value. Again, if you want to be successful in life, do not seek success. Seek to become a person of value. In other words, write it this way: make yourself valuable and they'll pay for you. Make yourself valuable and people will pay for you. That is what we do with gold, silver. How about gasoline, water? Our society has made these things what? Valuable. So we do what? We pay a lot of money for them because we made them valuable. Well, make yourself just like gold. In other words, develop a gift in your life that has become so valuable to everybody else that they will pay you to perform it. Les Brown and I were chatting one day, and we became good friends over the past 10 years or so. And one day we were chatting, we were doing a conference together, and I was telling him about this invitation I got to go and speak to this company. And I said, how much should I request as a fee from this company? And he said, how much do you think you are worth to that company? I said, I don't know. I was just starting in that particular area of the business of public speaking. And I said, I don't know, maybe $4,000 or $5,000. He said, that's all you think you're worth? I said, they only want me to speak for an hour and a half. He said, that's what you think you're worth? I said, how much do you charge them for an hour and a half? He said, $25,000 starting price. He said, if you charge them less than that, I'm ashamed of you. He said, you're better than me. And he was serious about it. So I filled out a contract and put $25,000. The check was in the mail the next day. Make yourself a person of value. Don't seek success. Let me give you another example of how it works. If someone had to think about something that reminded them of you, what would it be? That's a serious question. Because if they never think about you, that means you have never made yourself valuable. You have become a jack of too many trades, so you master nothing. You think of Tiger Woods, what do you think about? Michael Jordan, what do you think about? Barbra Streisand, what do you think about? Interesting. It's a good answer. Barbra Streisand, you think about two things, don't you? Acting and singing. So you develop two gifts. What do they think about when they call your name? Your problem is they don't think about you at all. Become so good in an area that they can't ignore you. The world is filled with general people. You come to this conference to cease being general. You're not in the general group anymore. You got to go home and decide for the next 20 years, I'm going to carve out a niche for myself that they're going to have to find me and can't ignore me. You ever heard Jesus talk? Or he talked with such confidence. I am the bread of life. If any man hunger, he made himself valuable to them. I am the water of life. If any man thirst, in other words, if anyone think of water, they think about me. He was trying to get across his value to them. So the crowds pressed him by the thousands to try and get to the water. Vision is what gives you this unique discovery about what you're supposed to master. So in my book on leadership, on my vision, I hope you get a copy of it and read it. It talks about the fact that sight is the ability to see things as they are, but vision is the capacity to see things as they could be. Now this next statement is important. Write it in bold letters, please. All true visions will be tested for authenticity. All true visions will be tested for authenticity. If your vision is truly from God, life will test it to prove that it's authentic. So get used to the idea of challenges if your vision is real. It doesn't come to stop your vision, it came to test it, to prove it that it's true, if it's real. If a vision is terminated by trials, it was probably not authentic. Sometimes your vision may take you to prison, but you got to go there with it and come out with it, like Nelson Mandela. Suppose Nelson really wasn't serious about destroying apartheid when he stood in that courtroom as a 24-year-old lawyer. Just suppose. He said, this ain't worth it, man. I'm going to go back to my job, forget these people. They can stand the oppression. I got me a good job. I'm out of the neighborhood where I was, out of the slums. I'm going to be a lawyer in South Africa, and I'm going to make me some money, forget my brethren. He could have said that. But his vision was so authentic to him. He said, I'd go to jail and lose my adult life for the sake of this vision. How much are you willing to pay to keep what you believe in? Vision is powerful. Write this down, please. True vision is discovered when you discover something you're supposed to die for. Visionary leaders ask the question, what kind of history do you dream of making? We're in this session to talk about how to write that vision down. But these are some preliminary thoughts you need to have in your mind. What is it that you'd like to do to write your part of history? In other words, do something that they cannot erase from history. And you don't need to do great, massive things. We keep thinking I do great. For example, the woman who poured the oil on the body of Jesus, you know what he said about her? That was such a simple act, eh? She took some perfume, which is believed to have been some embalming type fluid as well, because he said, this was for my burial. The scent of that stuff was so strong, they knew what it was. Very precious spices from Northern Africa and Asia, and that was imported stuff. It's very expensive. She had a little vial of it, probably cost about $15,000 in our modern day currency. And she took that and rubbed it on the body of Jesus. And it was just a simple act, and that's it. She vanished out of history. Guess what? We're not even sure what her name is. It doesn't tell us what her name was. Now some people assume it's Mary and all that, Mary Magdalene. It doesn't quite say who it was. But yet Jesus said, what she has done will be spoken of all through history. See, some of you think you got to build a big building like Dr. Myles Munroe or build a school. No, there's some little things you were born to do that they can't get rid of. For example, there's no such thing as the gospel according to Andrew. Is that right? Amazing. He has no gospel. But yet it was Andrew who brought Jesus to Peter, or Peter to Jesus rather. In other words, he was the connector. There has to be an Andrew that history can't forget. You may never stand here where I am and be under the camera lights. That may not be your vision for being born. But whatever you're supposed to do is not supposed to be erased. That's why I am convinced you were not created just to make a living and pay bills. You were created to give life and make a difference with your gift somewhere. That's why you came to this place. Here are some things that vision will do when you discover it. 1, vision will choose your future. 2, vision will choose your friends. 3, vision will choose your library. 4, vision will choose your use of time. 5, vision will choose your use of energy. 6, vision will choose your movies that you waste your money on. 7, vision will choose your priorities in life. 8, vision will even choose your hobbies. Even the games you play should be related to your vision. I used to hate golf. Why? I didn't understand golf. You know, me hate things you don't understand. And one day I was watching Bill Cosby on a show, and he was talking about golf, and he had me laughing, man. I was laughing. And Bill Cosby kept on saying, golf is a stupid game. Here these grown men out on this place hitting a little ball with a piece of stick, and then putting it in the hole, taking it back out, and then hit it again, put it in the hole. He said, this is so stupid. And so I got my philosophy about golf from Bill Cosby. So one day, a friend of mine who's here today said, Doc, you want to go play some golf? I said, golf? That's a stupid game. I said, only grown men walk around with a piece of stick, hit this ball in the hole, take it out. He said, that's a stupid game. He said, look, you want to go at least and go on the course and Let me, at least show you how to do it. I said, okay, no problem, let's go. I said, you got a day off, let's go take it. So we rented this course, and we rented stuff, because, I don't like golf. So they rented me the stuff, and they rented even the shoes I had on. I had to rent the shoes. We went on the course, and he says, hit, and he showed me how to hit the thing. And it was beautiful. I loved it. The environment there is wonderful. And I hit this thing. When I hit that first ball, an anointing came upon me. See, some of you all don't know what we're talking about unless you've been. Anyone I'm talking about? Come on, you golfers. There's an anointing on the golf course that no one understands. I don't know whether I was, just born to be good at it. But when I took that thing and I swung, the ball went, woo, and I went, I said, my God. I said, let me try that again. Hit it again. After the fourth time, I started feeling this thing. And then the guy says, look, it's time to go. I said, don't go yet, man. We got to just a couple more holes, man. We stayed there for 4 hours. Next morning, I said, let's go. The next day, we went on the course, and he had someone with him. It was a movie star. I said, oh. He said, this is the guy who stars in New York Cops on TV. I said, who's this guy? I said, wow, I saw you on TV, that's right. He said, I saw you on TV too, man. We began to chat. We walked into the golf shop on the course. So another movie star, another athlete, all these folks who I knew in boxes. I said, my goodness, this is where everybody gathers. It's where the money is. I began to act like I was a golfer, Yeah, this is life out here. I said, man, how'd you do yesterday? Didn't know what I was talking about at all, My third time on the golf course was incredible. They took me out to Pebble Beach. Now, you golfers know about Pebble Beach, right? Tiger Woods, Arnold Schwarzenegger, everybody in there. And I don't know anything about golf, nor Pebble Beach. I don't know what Pebble Beach is. So here we are going to the Pebble Beach, and I'm walking out there, and anybody is there on the course. And I'm like, all the money's out here, billions of dollars on the course. And they say, this is where deals are made. I said, take me on the course every day. Mm-hmm. And the people I met out there are people who had my money. You can get it after I'm gone. See, some of you pastors ain't know what you're missing. You better go learn golf. The anointing is on the course, man. Your hobbies should be related to your vision. If you're going to play dominoes, play with rich people. Let your hobbies bring you into environments that expand your vision and your networks. Coming here, some of you came because there's a little vacation built into this. But look at what you are getting and meeting while you're here. And there are people in this group who got a lot of money. Some of them I tell you, but you won't know who you're sitting next to. They got millions of dollars. But they ain't here for that. They here for some other reasons. And part of it may be for you just to get to know one another. What do you choose to play with? Even let your play be with a purpose. Everybody say play with purpose. It's important. Having your own aircraft is incredible too. It's a whole new world. Because you never go through the normal airports anymore. So all the private airports are only filled with people who own their planes. You know what that means? Use your imagination. So now I meet all these people who you never see. It's amazing. Vision chooses your hobbies. Next, big one. Vision chooses your diet. Number 12, vision chooses how you invest your money. 13, vision chooses how you write your to-do list. In other words, your to-do list should be created by your vision. What am I going to do today or this week? Will be things that will take me toward my vision. 14, vision chooses your attitude in life. If you know where you're going, it tells you how to think. 15, vision chooses your life. It tells you what kind of life you're supposed to end up living. And so it chooses what kind of lifestyle you begin living right now. Vision dictates everything. People who have no vision in their lives, they throw off restraint. They throw off self-control. They have no idea. 16, vision chooses your life's plan. It tells you what to plan for your life, how to plan your living. And next, vision dictates your values. Very important. We learned about this all week. When you know what you were born to do, it dictates how you should behave and what kind of standards you should live by. Right away, it changes everything. Still writing? I'm sorry. Then it's too late. Buy the tape and get the book. The impact of vision on leadership. Just write this down, please. Vision clarifies purpose. It gives direction to the leader, and it empowers the leader beyond his assets or her assets. Very important. Vision clarifies purpose. In other words, purpose is what you were born to do. Vision gives it clarity. And then vision also empowers you to know the direction you're supposed to go in and your assets. It goes beyond your assets. In other words, vision does not allow you to live by what you don't have. It takes you beyond that. You begin to believe in things that you have no money to pay for. And that's important. Because if you keep living by what you don't have, you'll never rise above what you don't have. Vision literally creates resources. Vision attracts resources. People don't give to people, they give to vision. These things that you call government grants are literally resources that are looking for vision. When you go to get a grant, they don't say they can give you this to spend money. They always ask you, show me your vision first. What are we giving this money to? It's not to you, it's to the vision that you have. Vision attracts resources. And so it's important for you to really clarify your vision and make it so plain that anyone can see it like you see it. Wise people make choices that protect their vision. Very important. By the way, on the list I gave you earlier, it does say vision chooses your friends. Let me tell you something about how important that is. Once you know where you want to go in life, it decides your company. I have very few friends in my life. Very few. And I don't want any more. I have millions of acquaintances. And I'm stuck with millions of brothers and sisters. They ain't my friends. You see, you're born with your brothers and sisters, but you choose your friends. And your friends are more important than your brothers and sisters. The Bible is very clear. It says a friend is closer than a brother. Let me define a friend for you. A friend is anyone who is willing, committed, and can help you get to your destiny. A friend is anyone who is willing and committed to help you get to your destiny. That's a friend. So if you want to be great, don't keep company with small-minded people. If you want to be a success, stay away from failures. Coming to this summit is a choice to keep company. You're keeping company with friends like us. Come here and you get your dream and your vision stimulated, fertilized, watered, encouraged. That's the right friendship you want. I always describe the example, to me, this is the greatest one I've discovered in life, is between Mary and Elizabeth. I talk about it all the time. You know, Mary was pregnant with the greatest gift in the world. And the angel said, if you want to have this baby, you got to go find Elizabeth. And when she found Elizabeth, it said when they looked at each other, the babies leaped. Don't be with anyone who doesn't make your baby leap. Your dream should be stimulated by your friends. Every time you're around them, they're supposed to impact you to keep going, to believe. Anyone who becomes a negative to your dream is what I call pollution. They are experts in abortion. Be careful. They are after your baby. Sometimes it's people of your own household. Sometimes your own family is bad company. You got to know that. That's why Mary had to leave Joseph's presence, because Joseph was not yet converted about this child. He was considering what? Putting her away. Abortion. There's some friends that you left home before you came here, and when you go down the mountain, you got to go down the other side. I am not kidding, because what you heard here this week, you better protect it. You should have never come here if you want to keep your old friends. Write this down. You can outgrow your friends. A lot of you don't know how dangerous your company is. So let me give you another principle to work with. If in your group that you call your friends, if you are the smartest one in the group, it's time to leave the group. If they always asking you the questions, you may think that's great. That's bad. You want to be in the company of friends who make you think, who expand you, who you ask questions to. People who ain't going nowhere want you to go with them. That's why they don't want you to leave the group. Because folks who ain't doing nothing want you to do it with them. So they say, oh, you're going to join that other group, huh? You're going to abandon us, huh? Absolutely yes.